Not quite ready to jump full on into the EV space? Well, a PHEV plug-in hybrid might be the perfect tweener. This is the Volvo XC90 Recharge. Let's dive in. The three-row XC90 is available as a pure gas-powered SUV also, but for our purposes, we're going to focus on the hybrid model that makes 455 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. By comparison, the gas-powered version makes a max 295 horsepower, so you can maybe kind of see why I just wanted to review this one. It's powered by a direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's paired to an electric motor that gets a 14.9 kilowatt-hour battery. Under normal driving conditions, if you tip in, you really do feel like a little bit of extra acceleration. But if you are looking for something more of like a sudden surge while you are at speed, it's a little bit of a different story. I would have thought that that electric motor would have done a lot of that torque fill and kind of not given you any lag. So what I'm guessing is that the 8-speed automatic transmission is doing a little bit of gear searching just as you are trying to really kind of get into the throttle. Is it super noticeable? No, it's not. This is a big vehicle, so it's a heavy vehicle. You're moving a lot of stuff around. Overall, I think it's adequately powered. Then throw it into power mode and the XC90 truly takes off. Again, does not feel like you're hauling around a family hauler. There are other modes like Pure, which goes pure EV mode, and for the record, transitions between hybrid and gas power are seamless. Nice job, Volvo. There's even an off-road mode, or you can go full-time all-wheel drive. The suspension is comprised of a multi-link setup both in the front and the rear, and you get air in that suspension too, which, as you would expect, makes the ride really comfortable. You go over bumps and you'd feel them a little bit, but it really smooths things out so nicely. Overall, anytime you're bringing an air suspension into things, it definitely just adds that extra bit of luxury that you would totally expect from a Volvo. I've been driving this car quite a bit, and I'm going to be honest, I'm actually preferring driving it with the regenerative braking system on. You just pull this beautiful crystal shift knob back one more time, and while you're not 100% one pedal driving, this gets you awfully close. I'm going to say it's actually been really effective as far as the recharging of the motor, because it really does extend your gas mileage so much. It's been fun to drive, and I like the way that that regen system works. So nicely done, Volvo. Something that is definitely on the subjective side, so if you think it's comfortable, please don't get mad at me. As much as I love these seats and I think they're really beautiful to look at, I have actually found them quite uncomfortable for me. There are 2 pressure points that I feel in my booty and in the back of my legs. I took this on a fairly long road trip, and by the end of 2 hours in this car, I was very fatigued. Again, seats are so subjective, so please sit in the car before you get in it. They're gorgeous, they're bolstered. I love this material. I feel like I would want like clothing made out of this, but for me, this seat is, I'm not sure that I could do it all the time. If you're interested in fuel economy numbers, they're worth looking at. Even using the engine only if you're on a longer road trip, that MPG number is not horrifying for something this size. The XC90 Recharge is going up against players like the Land Rover Range Rover and Range Rover Sport PHEV, the Audi Q5 PHEV, the BMW X5 gets a plug-in hybrid option, and so does the Porsche Cayenne and the Lincoln Aviator. There are 3 trim levels of the XC90 Recharge. The first base model is the Core. That starts at around $73,000. That is more than just a little loose change. Your hard-earned cash includes a portable charger, a moonroof, Google Assistant built in, which is great because it will help you find a charging station if you're in need. Also, it gets an air purifier, AC for the 3rd row, a 12-inch instrument panel and 9-inch display that's Apple CarPlay compatible, as well as heated power seats and advanced driver safety functions including lane keeping assist, cross-traffic alerts, pilot assist, which is a dynamic stop-and-go cruise control, and emergency braking. Volvo is very safety conscious. The Plus only adds $1,700 to the bottom line and adds the heated steering wheel, 360-degree camera, fancy interior ambient lights, rain-sensing wipers, I love those, and heated rear seats, among other things. That seems like a lot of extras for less than $2,000. If you're going there, I say pony up the extra $2,000 and get all the things. On the top Ultimate trim, you do get a lot of really cool extra features like a head-up display, a heated steering wheel, ventilated seats, but you're going to pay another $7,500 on top of that extra $1,700, and you're starting to get into a lot of money. So for me, the sweet spot is definitely the Plus. If you're the kind of person who likes to go places and do stuff, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with the XC90 Recharge. When it comes to the exterior styling, I've always been a fan of Volvos. This one is a little reminiscent of their wagons, which to me I think are next level. But the details on this are great. They always have great wheels. I think the grille is correctly proportioned. It's very elegant and minimalist European styling. Oh, and Volvo has a great knack for paint colors. When it comes to the interior, it's definitely a reflection of the restraint shown on the outside. The less is more approach is appreciated, and you'll find great color and materials like wood and leather, not a lot of shiny chrome to distract. So a couple of things to really like and maybe not so much like about this interior. The first thing is I like the simplistic design. I'm always a fan of that. This to me though is starting to look just a tad dated. The screen maybe a little bit on the smaller side, and yes, it is very, very prone to fingerprints. The other thing about the interface here is there are a lot of tiny little buttons, and on more than one occasion I've gone to hit one and I've accidentally hit something else. So it is a little bit clunky when it comes to the user interface. But some things that I really like, I love this little storage nook here for my phone. I think that's great. I really like this sort of crystal shift knob. This reminds me of Superman's Fortress of Solitude, which I think is a really nice touch. The materials in here are next level gorgeous. I can't even describe it. It's really well done. And overall, it's a pretty good cockpit as far as where things are positioned where you're driving. So more good than not, but I can see how this is this close to needing an upgrade. As with most three-row SUVs, we're always pretty curious about how things sort out in that back row, but let's start here first. We know how I feel about the fabric and the feel of the seats, but as far as room goes, I've got a ton of headroom here. There's definitely plenty of leg room and a lot of adjustability. One interesting thing I noticed, when my backpack was sitting on this front passenger seat, it was so heavy, or the sensor was so sensitive, that it kept telling me to put the seatbelt on. So something to consider, but maybe that's where you want to put your cargo, is in the cargo space. When it comes to the second row, behind me, again, we're looking at a ton of room here. We have a slider that's really great, so you can make a little bit more leg room for the person in the back, provided you like them. But even the middle seat here, this is something that could be tolerable for a short period of time. I'm not sure if Mike Danger would be happy in that seat. He might want to become friends with someone else if I did that. When it comes to this third row, this is where I'm kind of a little bit more skeptical. You'd have to slide these seats forward all the way, but I'm really thinking that this is for a smaller passenger. Listen, if you have a lot of small passengers and right now you're looking to upgrade a little bit, you can always click the link right here, and Kelley Blue Book is going to help you find a fair purchase price on a bigger car. While you're clicking at stuff, head over here to subscribe to the KBB YouTube channel. Look how smart you are. Plug-in hybrids are a great transition to the EV world. But if you're one of those people who goes on long road trips and doesn't maybe have a lot of time to charge in between, then maybe this is a really good alternative. If you want to do it in luxury and you've got a lot of people to take around, take a look at the Volvo XC90 Recharge E all-wheel drive.